We found that you're able to design linkages 20% lighter, normalized by the length, and the whole bike is 50% stiffer compared to our previous product. We're able to do this by leveraging on the generative design tools available in Solid Edge. Solid Edge also allowed us to improve our product development process. We're able to finish the development of the Halcon 20% faster, which is 6 months faster compared to our previous development time. Our development process was faster for two reasons. Synchronous technology allows us to design more intuitively, and generative optimization allows us to get to the final answer quicker with less iterations. I'm really excited about the AR features in Solid Edge 2020. Being able to see the product in the correct scale in its natural environment allows us to better get a good perspective when we're designing parts.
For more information, visit solidedge.siemens.com.
Rurok Industries is a performance bike company. We believe that bikes should progress, get better, just as the rider does. So we make bikes because we think we have ideas on how to make it better. Our first product is called the Rurok Cordillera. It's a bike designed to withstand the rigors of enduro racing. It features a special patented suspension design, makes it always efficient all the time. Our second product is called the Rurok Canlaon. All our bikes are named after the mountains in the Philippines. It features a clever mechanism to change its geometry depending on the user's preferences. And the third product we're currently developing to be launched this year is the Rurok Halcon. The highlight of this product is optimization. We're optimizing the structure using generative design and optimizing the suspension using parametric optimization. The Rurok Halcon is going to be a very serious bike. It's the bike that we'll be introducing to the international market. Our customers do not want to be limited with what they want to do with their bikes. So the goals of the Halcon is to have a structure that's very stiff, very robust to withstand whatever they want to do with the bike, and have a really high-performing suspension system. The Halcon is all about optimization, and that's why we chose Solid Edge. With Solid Edge, we have access to all the generative optimization tools and simulations to achieve our design goals. By using Solid Edge, we found that you're able to design linkages 20% lighter, normalized by the length, and the whole bike is 50% stiffer compared to our previous product. We're able to do this by leveraging on the generative design tools available in Solid Edge. Solid Edge also allowed us to improve our product development process. We're able to finish the development of the Halcon 20% faster, which is 6 months faster compared to our previous development time. Our development process was faster for two reasons. Synchronous technology allows us to design more intuitively, and generative optimization allows us to get to the final answer quicker with less iterations. I'm really excited about the AR features in Solid Edge 2020. Being able to see the product in the correct scale in its natural environment allows us to better get a good perspective when we're designing parts.
For more information, visit solidedge.siemens.com.
Rurok Industries is a performance bike company. We believe that bikes should progress, get better, just as the rider does. So we make bikes because we think we have ideas on how to make it better. Our first product is called the Rurok Cordillera. It's a bike designed to withstand the rigors of enduro racing. It features a special patented suspension design, makes it always efficient all the time. Our second product is called the Rurok Canlaon. All our bikes are named after the mountains in the Philippines. It features a clever mechanism to change its geometry depending on the user's preferences. And the third product we're currently developing to be launched this year is the Rurok Halcon. The highlight of this product is optimization. We're optimizing the structure using generative design and optimizing the suspension using parametric optimization. The Rurok Halcon is going to be a very serious bike. It's a bike that we'll be introducing to the international market. Our customers do not want to be limited with what they want to do with their bikes. So the goals of the Halcon is to have a structure that's very stiff, very robust to withstand whatever they want to do with the bike, and have a really high performing suspension system. The Halcon is all about optimization, and that's why we show Solid Edge. With Solid Edge, we have access to all the generative optimization tools and simulations to achieve our design goals. By using Solid Edge, we found that we are able to design linkages 20% lighter, normalized by the length, and the whole bike is 50% stiffer compared to our previous product. We're able to do this by leveraging on the generative design tools available in Solid Edge. Solid Edge also allowed us to improve our product development process. We're able to finish the development of the Halcon 20% faster, which is 6 months faster compared to our previous development time. Our development process was faster for two reasons. Synchronous technology allows us to design more intuitively, and generative optimization allows us to get to the final answer quicker with less iterations. I'm really excited about the AR features in Solid Edge 2020. Being able to see the product in the correct scale in its natural environment allows us to better get a good perspective when we're designing parts.
For more information, visit solidedge.siemens.com.
Rurok Industries is a performance bike company. We believe that bikes should progress, get better just as the rider does. So we make bikes because we think we have ideas on how to make it better. Our first product is called the Rurok Cordillera. It's a bike designed to withstand the rigors of enduro racing. It features a special patented suspension design, makes it always efficient all the time. Our second product is called the Rurok Canlaon. All our bikes are named after the mountains in the Philippines. It features a clever mechanism to change its geometry depending on the user's preferences. And the third product we're currently developing to be launched this year is the Rurok Halcon. The highlight of this product is optimization. We're optimizing the structure using generative design and optimizing the suspension using parametric optimization. The Rurok Halcon is going to be a very serious bike. It's the bike that we'll be introducing to the international market. Our customers do not want to be limited with what they want to do with their bikes. So the goals of the Halcon is to have a structure that's very stiff, very robust to withstand whatever they want to do with the bike, and have a really high performing suspension system. The Halcon is all about optimization, and that's why we show Solid Edge. With Solid Edge, we have access to all the generative optimization tools and simulations to achieve our design goals. By using Solid Edge, we found that we are able to design linkages 20% lighter, normalized by the length, and the whole bike is 50% stiffer compared to our previous product. We're able to do this by leveraging on the generative design tools available in Solid Edge. Solid Edge also allowed us to improve our product development process. We're able to finish the development of the Halcon 20% faster, which is 6 months faster compared to our previous development time. Our development process was faster for two reasons. Synchronous technology allows us to design more intuitively, and generative optimization allows us to get to the final answer quicker with less iterations. I'm really excited about the AR features in Solid Edge 2020. Being able to see the product in the correct scale in its natural environment allows us to better get a good perspective when we're designing parts.
For more information, visit solidedge.siemens.com.
Rurok Industries is a performance bike company. We believe that bikes should progress, get better just as the rider does. So we make bikes because we think we have ideas on how to make it better. Our first product is called the Rurok Cordillera. It's a bike designed to withstand the rigors of enduro racing. It features a special patented suspension design, makes it always efficient all the time. Our second product is called the Rurok Canlaon. All our bikes are named after the mountains in the Philippines. It features a clever mechanism to change its geometry depending on the user's preferences. And the third product we're currently developing to be launched this year is the Rurok Halcon. The highlight of this product is optimization. We're optimizing the structure using generative design and optimizing the suspension using parametric optimization. The Rurok Halcon is going to be a very serious bike. It's the bike that we'll be introducing to the international market. Our customers do not want to be limited with what they want to do with their bikes. So the goals of the Halcon is to have a structure that's very stiff, very robust to withstand whatever they want to do with the bike, and have a really high performing suspension system. The Halcon is all about optimization, and that's why we chose Solid Edge. With Solid Edge, we have access to all the generative optimization tools and simulations to achieve our design goals. By using Solid Edge, we found that we are able to design linkages 20% lighter, normalized by the length, and the whole bike is 50% stiffer compared to our previous product. We're able to do this by leveraging on the generative design tools available in Solid Edge. Solid Edge also allowed us to improve our product development process. We're able to finish the development of the Halcon 20% faster, which is 6 months faster compared to our previous development time. Our development process was faster for two reasons. Synchronous technology allows us to design more intuitively, and generative optimization allows us to get to the final answer quicker with less iterations. I'm really excited about the AR features in Solid Edge 2020. Being able to see the product in the correct scale in its natural environment allows us to better get a good perspective when we're designing parts.
For more information, visit solidedge.siemens.com.
Rurok Industries is a performance bike company. We believe that bikes should progress, get better, just as the rider does. So we make bikes because we think we have ideas on how to make it better. Our first product is called the Rurok Cordillera. It's a bike designed to withstand the rigors of enduro racing. It features a special patented suspension design, makes it always efficient all the time. Our second product is called the Rurok Canlaon. All our bikes are named after the mountains in the Philippines. It features a clever mechanism to change its geometry depending on the user's preferences. And the third product we're currently developing to be launched this year is the Rurok Halcon. The highlight of this product is optimization. We're optimizing the structure using generative design and optimizing the suspension using parametric optimization. The Rurok Halcon is going to be a very serious bike. It's the bike that we'll be introducing to the international market. Our customers do not want to be limited with what they want to do with their bikes. So the goals of the Halcon is to have a structure that's very stiff, very robust to withstand whatever they want to do with the bike, and have a really high performing suspension system. The Halcon is all about optimization, and that's why we chose Solid Edge. With Solid Edge, we have access to all the generative optimization tools and simulations to achieve our design goals. By using Solid Edge, we found that we are able to design linkages 20% lighter, normalized by the length, and the whole bike is 50% stiffer compared to our previous product. We're able to do this by leveraging on the generative design tools available in Solid Edge. Solid Edge also allowed us to improve our product development process. We're able to finish the development of the Halcon 20% faster, which is 6 months faster compared to our previous development time. Our development process was faster for two reasons. Synchronous technology allows us to design more intuitively, and generative optimization allows us to get to the final answer quicker with less iterations. I'm really excited about the AR features in Solid Edge 2020. Being able to see the product in the correct scale in its natural environment allows us to better get a good perspective when we're designing parts.
For more information, visit solidedge.siemens.com.
Rurok Product Industries is a performance bike company. We believe that bikes should progress, get better, just as the rider does. So we make bikes because we think we have ideas on how to make it better. Our first product is called the Ruro Cordillera. It's a bike designed to withstand the rigors of enduro racing. It features a special patented suspension design, makes it always efficient.
All right, and we are live. A pleasant afternoon to each and every one of you. First of all, thank you for joining our webinar today. By the way, my name is Kate Remando, and I'm a Business Development Officer here in CIM Technologies Incorporated. Now, the webinar for today is just the first out of the 3 episodes that we have for this webinar series entitled Navigating Your Product Development Roadmap in the New Normal. Now, this webinar will cover all the stages and strategies to help you in making your ideas into reality. By joining the 3 episodes or the whole webinar series, you will learn how to take advantage of the opportunities in the new normal through developing your own product using digital design and innovative solutions. Now, so let me share with you the agenda for this afternoon, okay? I will introduce to you our company prior proceeding to the main topic, which is product concept development, making your idea viable, followed by design better with Solid Edge. During each presentation, please feel free to leave your questions at the chat box, as we will address those during the open forum with the speaker. Then, before we wrap up, we will be giving you quick survey questions and some important announcements. A digital certificate of attendance is automatically generated and will be issued to those who will participate in the survey. All right. So before I proceed with the main topic, let me introduce to you first our company. For years, we have worked alongside top manufacturing and AEC companies, as well as tertiary schools and universities, in promoting the use of CAD, that's computer aided design, computer aided engineering, computer aided manufacturing, product data management, and as well as project management solutions. In fact, we are now on our 30th year in providing technology solutions from software to hardware. More than that, we are also offering training, technical support, and other expanded services for the AEC and manufacturing industries. Let me discuss our offerings quickly. These are the manufacturing solutions that we are offering. We have 3D designs and simulation, wiring and control systems. We also have our solutions under PCB design, finite element analysis or CFD analysis. We also have our 3D printing or rapid prototyping, CNC programming, design and document management, bill of material management or product cost management, and process execution or service lifecycle management. Well, aside from software, we are also accepting product design and development services. So if you're interested to any of our solutions and services, please feel free to request for a meeting or a free demo for your company. Now, for our trusted work companions, we are also in partnership with HP and Dell, and we also have our large format printers and plotters by HP. If in case you have problems with your maintenance side, we can offer to you our ID services such as maintenance agreement and preventive maintenance for HP plotters and printers, diagnosis and repair, network design layout, network cabling, network configurations, and system or network administration services. Moving along, we also have our service division, that's Alteon 3D, to provide you our expanded services such as 2D drafting, large format scanning, printing and plotting, rapid prototyping, product design, and many more. Please do visit www.alteon3d.com to see other service offerings. And last but not the least, We have our dedicated training center that is at Stanford IT Learning to provide you basic to advanced training and education in the field of AEC, manufacturing, and power and utilities industries. So, if you want to learn about any tools and the best practices or latest trends in related to your job role, you can learn it from Stanford. So there you go. We're humbly presenting to you our partners for the solutions and services that we are offering. Please feel free to contact us should you have requirements that you think we can provide for you. Thank you for knowing about CIM Technologies Incorporated. So next, all right, without further any ado, let me introduce to you our guest speaker for this afternoon's webinar. He had been studying being a product designer since college, starting by developing fuel efficient vehicles for 5 years. Then he was able to start designing his own products for an e mobility startup, Averant, which specialized in designing scooters, vehicles, etc. And after that, he gained the passion to start helping various clients and to help become a freelance product designer or industrial designer to help startup businesses to develop their ideas into a fully working product. And now he was able to create his own business for the sole purpose of providing the service of developing their clients' ideas into reality. Let me turn the screen over to the founder and lead product developer of Euro Product Development and Design Solutions, Mr. Songham Chok.
Sangam Shaw. I am the lead product developer and designer of Euro Product Development and Design Solutions. So, okay, so next slide. So as you can see, I am one of the one that helps the clients that develop their ideas into reality. So basically, we are more of the execution part. We just don't do the design, but until we develop the real working product of our client. So we use them for Kickstarter, for developing for commercial use, and even in the industrial sector, we help our client as well. So next slide. But before that, I'm gonna show you some of our examples that we have developed. So we're able to launch some VARs on Kickstarter. And so next slide. So we're actually, as I said, we already helped develop the actual product itself, not just the design, but we even go deep further on helping testing, low volume production, and even we help them launching their own product to their website and marketing use as well. So next slide. So, but before that, I want to explain my journey before I started my own design product development firm. So it was not easy, of course. So I have started developing fuel efficient vehicles. So you can see on the next slide pictures of we have started developing vehicles for almost 4 to 5 years. So at the time, I'm using Solid Edge, all of our team. So we are developing electric vehicles, fuel efficient vehicles, and of course, we're not just designing the outer shell of the vehicle. We're designing this actual parts that can be used on commercial or future use. So I'm really glad for my 4 to 5 years in college that I was able to be a part of this because this is a really essential part as a being a product designer and developer. So on the next slide, you can see additional pictures that we have developed, and there are I think are 3 to 4 vehicles. So after that, I was started my own startup, which is Avarent. The goal of this startup is actually to develop transport mobility solutions for this country. As you know, why I've started this before is because of the traffic. I really hate traffic, and I'm sure everyone here has the same feeling. So this is the reason why I've started. So I want to develop a better trains, better public transportation. But of course, as a starting company, I want to start with developing the scooter first, even possibly electric wheelchairs that can help our PWD to go from point A to their school or their work. And next, so on the next slide, you can see some of my example of the designs that I have developed here. So this is actually almost all of my journey during college. So before I'm even able to develop ideas and products for my clients, I've started with my own, of course. it really helped a lot before I started my own business. So before we start, I want to explain that uh, it's easier to create a solution when you know what you're solving for. So I want to give you an example because, as per experience, many of my clients approach me before. They have the idea, but not with the problem. So what happens is here is they want to add that, add this, without even having a blueprint or a goal what problem we are gonna solve. So before my advice, before you're gonna develop the idea, you must know what this idea or product is really solving for. What is the pain point? What can it help with? So further on this presentation, I can actually help you understanding this. So on the next slide. So before you even actually, I want to start first on how I think and how I conceptualize the product systematically, because I will explain you one of the problem of the designers that we have gone through. Number one, we all tend to think everything on one place at all of the time. I mean, we want we want to think about this and that and that. We want to think if it's really feasible, if it's it's a what they call that is information paralysis. Too much information going into your head tends to block out the solution or idea that can come out of your head. So what I advise first is this: how I think of my own product. Some other here may vary. They have their own process, but here's the usual process that we use. So first, we develop first on the first funnel on the very top part. I just generate and create the ideas, the solutions as much as possible. So one tap on the second part, we I want to develop I want to see if this product is really can really solve the human customer part. So again, you press the next slide. So I mean the click. So this is the first part, of course, as I mentioned. You generate as many solutions or idea as much as possible. Less constraint. Of course, you still have some constraint, but you just generate and generate and generate. And on my advice on this part, don't check on the internet yet. Because if you're gonna check on the internet of the possible idea solutions, we tend to stick to that. What happens is once we see it, it's hard to delete it on our memory and create our own or create something new. So my advice is we generate our ideas first. Then after that, we will filter out solutions that already existed. What I mean by that, you can search for the internet. What is been there? What has been available? And if you would see that, oh, this my idea is still unique, and of course you can patent that if that's the case. So the good thing there is you haven't stick your mind on a single solution or product yet. So after that, you can actually check one by one of your solutions generated if it's easily be used by the customer. Is it human centric? Does it really solve the problem? And on the very final part of the funnel is it feasible or not? So I will explain why I have generated that thought processing, why I have put the feasibility part on the very top panel, or why I have come up with this idea. So on the next slides, this will be much more a supporting document of this. So this is a summarized key aspect of developing a good product concept. First is distinctiveness, as I mentioned. No matter how good your idea and everything, if someone already developed or created that, it's useless. Of course, you can patent that. You can own the design. You can sell that design because, of course, you will have what most they have the utility or design patent that you can copy it. And much worse, you will pay for that because of you're gonna sell that product. You're gonna pay the royalty fee or something. So next part is the human centric. I will explain this further. This is a much more of a process. So the third one is the feasibility. So next slide. Okay, we can go to the next slide now. So first, I want to explain the distinctiveness part. There are many questions out there, of course, is does my product shine out from the existing solution? What is the main differentiator of my existing to my product to the existing product? These are some questions that you can ask on your mind, but I think I will explain much further on how can you know much more about your product. We will start first with product versus features. So next slide. So Many of us here is, of course, maybe some of us know the difference between a product and a future, but I will read and explain what I found the internet the meaning of this. So next slide. So a product is an item, information, or source, tool, environment, or service that has enough value in the opinion of customers that they might buy it. While a feature is a characteristic or a function of a product that gives more value. So if you still not get it out, okay, I will explain by using an example. So next slide. So here will be an example of a product in the future. An example of a product is a bicycle. An example of a future is adding a basket to a bicycle. Of course, that's obvious. So I'm gonna show you another example. So next slide. So this is what I mentioned before. I will explain why explaining this. Most of our clients that has come through us is they don't know if they're developing a product or a future. For example, they want a bike that has a lights, that has a basket, that has like this and this. You're just adding features over and over again just to win the competition. But I'm telling you, you can develop a good product by just adding various features that does not even really solve a problem of the customer itself. What you're doing is you want to make your product unique by adding tons of feature. So this is one of my case study example that I have been through. And when I was in a startup, this is one of my problem. I had add features over the product instead of creating a unique, distinct product. So I'm gonna show you an example of this. Next slide. So this is a product. It's still a bike, but this is a product designed for logistics or transportation company. Remember, a bike designed for a civilian and a bike designed for this type of segment, there are two different product apart. So this has maybe a same type of bike, but is used for a specific set of customers. So sometimes having creating a unique, distinct product starts by focusing on who are you gonna design this for, who will use this, and how it will solve the problem. So this is what I'm mentioning over this. I'm explaining this so to avoid the confusion if you're gonna design a product or a future. So another example is here. So next slide. So here's one example that some client will come here to me and customer wants a durable phone that does not easily break when fallen from a high place to it will from you suddenly drop it or anything. So what is the solution? So next slide. So here's a solution number one. A phone that features a durable phone casing. I'm sure before even a smartphone become really popular, some smartphone manufacturer tends to do this. They want to create a durable phone with integrated casing itself. But in expense or in exchange, it will cause problem on some customers that it will be have thicker, much more weight on it, and of course it will cause inconvenience. Another proper possible solution, I'm explaining this is a future. And another solution that you can give is a product that can protect your phone. So the difference what I have shown you is adding a feature over creating a product might have a different impact over the two. So this is really important because I'm telling you, most of my clients has a hard time distinguishing between a product and a future. So I hope this brief example can able to differentiate the difference. So another example of this, of course, next slide. Around those time when phone manufacturers tend to fit all of the features on one phone, on making it durable, making it resilient to that and this and long life. Of course, we tend to have a thicker phone before than what we have now. That's the reason why there's no phone cover we used before on this kind of phone because it's already durable enough. But what it's lack is, of course, they focus on the durability and resiliency of this product. It lacks the human-centric part, or it lacks the focus on developing much more of the key aspect of user design, like if it's comfortable to the user enough or anything. Most of the form before were focused on durability because they think that sending text alone is enough. So they are the other things. So you can go on the next slide. So I was able to explain human product versus future point. So the second key aspect on developing a product is human centric. Does my product really molds well to our customer needs? Does it solve a problem, etc., etc.? So here's another description of human centric. This much more a longer one. So next slide. So human centric design is an approach to product development that puts users' needs, desirability, and abilities at the center of the development process. Take note, it's not technology that they put on the center, but the user. I will explain this further on. So it means making design decisions based on how people can, need, and want to perform tasks rather than expecting users to adjust and accommodate their behaviors to the product. So I will show you a case study. What happened before we even have this kind of topic. We're gonna need to go back to the past to understand what does this really mean and why do we need this. So next slide is about a case study of the B17. This is a study of design first before technology principle. What we're gonna tackle is a silent reaper of World War II, the B17. Okay, next slide. So, of the 12,731 aircraft built, approximately 4,735 were lost during the World War II. Of course, most of them were lost due to weather. Some of them were hit by a bullet or artillery strike or something. Of course, but another, I think another 10% of this were lost during. So I'm gonna show next slide. This is the statistical loss of the despite the silent reaper claim, 457 crashes within the span of 22 months. So imagine after you have engaged enemy in Germany or Japan at that time, you will go back figuring why your plane crashes suddenly. But the key point here is within the 22 months of the World War II, 457 crashes happened. That is nearly 10% of the total crashes that happened during the whole duration of the World War II. This number is not exaggerated, but this really happened during World War. Most of the loss before were from the landing. And here is this intriguing part. When the technician and the engineer checked, the hydraulics were not faulty, the landing gear were always operating, engines were all okay, and everything. So it means that all of the planes were fully okay. And even if they were hit by a bullet or something, most of the landing gear design and the design of the plat were still operational. So after that, some of the pilots blamed themselves why this happened. So after there's a psychologist that actually came to them to ask the pilots what really happened. So when a psychologist asked the pilot itself, they have already gone 5 years of training. Every day they will check the plane if it's okay and everything. Of course, they're really well trained. That is from the psychologist point of view. All of the pilots that were crashed at this point were all really well trained. There are no amateurs on this. So here's the problem. Is that the engineering part of the design of the plane first, or is that the pilot fault? So which fault it is? So we can check it on the next slide. So the very culprit of the silent reaper that causes too many crashes on the landing part is the cockpit itself. Why? The cockpit is already functional really well, but if you would see the World War II era cockpit is all of the buttons, all of the levers almost look the same. It feels the same. So when the pilot wants to control, here's the problem. When the pilot goes back to the landing site, they're already really tired. They want to uh, they want to just land and go home, and suddenly they will feel they suddenly crash. They don't know why. So on the next slide, I will show you why. This is a very main culprit because they put the landing gear and the wing flap together. So I will explain what are these. The landing gear, of course, is the one that used to switch on the landing gear to release on and off. And the wing flap, that is used to control the speed while landing. So I was not able to get the actual picture itself on before they have just the changes. But before that, they have the same shape and figure. When you hold this, you don't know when it's night. You don't know this the landing gear or the wing flaps. So the tendency is when they want to touch the landing gear, they touch the wing flap first or something or vice versa. So sometimes they land without the landing gear. Sometimes they want to land but the landing gear comes first before slowing down, so it destroys the landing gear itself. So what the solution was given is on the next slide. It's really simple. They changed the landing gear lever designed to a wheel shape of the airplane, while the flap has the shape of the flap or the wings itself. It's really a simple solution, but even if no matter what the stress level in the cockpit, you can actually feel the difference of the two switch and buttons. And of course, they have split them two apart. That leads to the psychologists to have a new field of study, which is, you can on the next slide. So I'm going to present who's this psychologist itself before we continue. This psychologist is Arfone Chapanis. I'm not sure if my pronunciation is correct. He is the pioneer of the field of industrial design, and he is considered the father of ergonomics and human factors. Why? Because without him, we might have no Macintosh, no smartphone or anything. Because he is the one that discovered that it might be simple, but he's the one that discovered that the design must be molded on the human and the user itself, not technology first. Because what happened before, it's the plane was focused on the engineering, but they did not really consider the human factor of stress. Of course, you're gonna go to war and go back. You can't blame them when they crash because they were confused. So the rule of the design here is to bring technology closer to us humans. Because I will explain you before, computers before were the only can only be used by scientists and really smart people, while us just normal people, we can't really use those because it's hard to understand. So because of this kind of field of design, technology were brought us to us much closer than before. So the technology existed. What has only changed is technology right now were designed better for us human to use it. So this is the human centric part of the topic. So I hope everyone is able to understand it. So on the very last part is will be feasibility. We can talk about. Sorry. Of course, sorry, I'm skipping. So the first thing you want to do or develop as product is you don't need to be focused too much on the form of the product. Most of the industrial designers right now I meet and the designers, they focus to the form. But this is the right sketch that you need to generate. You need to present a sketch on how the user will use it, how the user will feel the product, not just the form of the product, not just really good renderings and aesthetics. You must consider how the human you will use it, how the user will use it. On the next slide, you will see a much better sketch of this. So when you're developing a product, it must always show or it must always present on how the user will use your product, not the product itself working alone, of course. So this is how we can actually create a good concept is showing how the customer, you need to illustrate everything from the starting from point one, point two, point three. It's like you're creating a comics or a manga focus on how the user will use your product. So in this way you can avoid what the B17 has come through before. Because if this process were bring on before developing on the plane, the 457 crashes might not happen, and it might save lives. Actually, millions of lives were saved because of that. Because most of the design principle that came from that were used on the planes right now. So on the next slide. So this is the last part, and I will explain you why this come last. On the B17 story, you can see my point why feasibility come last. But on the question is my product idea is feasible to be developed, or is it possible? I can't really answer that. My pointer is what we think is impossible now is actually possible in the future. You can't limit the feasibility on what you think. You need to talk to actual experts. You need to talk to one that specializes on this and that. And little by little, you will see, oh, I can make this possible by integrating this. I can make this possible by talking to someone who specializes this. You can't limit the feasibility of your product because you don't think it's possible. That's why I always place this last, because this will consume much of your time. And if you place this first on your concept development, most of your product that you think or idea, you will think it will not work. It will not work like this, like that. No, after you develop the solution or idea that can be really genuinely be distinctive and it can solve the problem, that is when you can actually generate a study if how can you make it's not actually a study about if this is feasible or not. The right question there is how can I make this feasible? It's more of the matter of perspective on the mind rather than what solution available on my head right now. So on the next slide, I will more explain about is some of you might work here as a team. A team-driven concept development is might differ on working alone, but it's possible that you can work alone as the whole team itself. So I will explain this. So on the next slide, you will see the two main people that is needed to start a design meeting. This is the most least possible that you need two people. The one here is the design leader. He is the one that collects idea or solution from the concept maker or the one that generates the idea or from the outside sources. So take note, you're only not limited on what is within your team. You can actually talk to actual experts outside. So they're the one that creates constraint. When what I mean constraint is the product must be this small for to fit in the customer need. It must be this durable and everything, etc. And of course, they will explain who will use it and everything and the problem. And the third one is to narrow down and filter out idea solution generated from the concept maker or from the possible outside sources. So here's really the thing of the design leader. They're the one that decide what idea and concept that they can refine later on the stage, on the later stage. While the concept maker, their only focus there is to produce and generate ideas, concept, or solutions. This can be engineers, designers, doctors, or any individuals that can help out give ideas or solution. So it may be even a civilian or someone does not have a specialized field. It's important that they can give out suggestions and things that they can bring out on the table itself. So my point here is, while the concept maker generate and create the solutions and concepts, the design leader will narrow it down until to the point that you will have a one or two concept that is usable. What I explain here in this part is on just one meeting alone, it will not work. There are sometimes that after one meeting, we're not able to collect enough good idea or concept. We have a second run of meeting, third run, fourth run, fifth run, sixth run, until to the point that you have enough idea or concept that you can break it down until to the point that you have this good to great idea or concept that you can refine later in the stage. So this is really important. So the question here is, can you act as this too, as an individual? Of course, some of the people here will work as an individual. Yes, you can. But you need to do it step by step, as I explained. While you generate the idea and concept, after that, you will be the one to narrow down. And while you found it narrowing down, we're not able to find any good idea or concept, you need to go back and generate again until to the point you were able to find a good product or concept. So I will explain step by step if we're on this kind of setup. So next slide. So next slide again. I was able to explain this. So step one is to define the problem and who are the user customers. So of course I explained this. You need to understand the problem, not and then you will generate a solution. So after you bring the problem to the customer, for example, you want to develop this umbrella and for this rain, and after that they will explain who are the users and customers. Because I'm telling you, when you develop an umbrella for London compared to Philippines or to England, England has much more heavier rain than us compared to Philippines. In Philippines, we use the umbrella itself for the sunlight, sometimes on for the rain itself. While on England part, the rains are too heavy. The traditional umbrellas that we use here in the Philippines will not work. So on England part, they need to develop an umbrella that is more rigid and durable. So my point here is knowing what country you're gonna develop for, what kind of people, even their race and etc. itself, their culture background can even help developing the product to them. Because I'm telling you, design is all about tailoring the product to the user itself. You cannot one point here is you cannot really fit one product idea to everyone. No one size fits all solution can be really guaranteed. So step two, Of course, after you know who and where you will develop this product or sell it for, that is where you can generate. On this point, you need to generate as much as possible idea or solution. The key on creating a good product or idea is not just refining one idea, but generating as much as possible you can. And after that, you can either combine them or remove this idea or add this to the existing idea until you can narrow it down. So on step three, filtering and narrowing down. Of course, I have mentioned you after you develop and create your own ideas. That is when you can check on the internet if is this idea existed already? If this idea uh, is this already being sold in the market? Is it really human centric enough? And of course, the last part is it feasible? Then that is how you will narrow down that you will get one or two ideas that you are comfortable to execute with, and it is worth it to spend money, of course. So step four. So step four, of course, is really simple. Is you present the solutions to the users and gain feedback. Of course, you can't assume that this design is perfect already. The feedback of the users itself is really different from the designers and someone in your meeting. Because of course you need to see their feedback. If you will see that on their expression, we're gonna ask question, you need to be honest enough to see if their expression, because if you're gonna ask this on your friends, of course most of your friends will say, oh, maganda itong idea na to, bakit hindi mo ito ibenta na to? Most of us will get that kind of feedback when you ask your friends. So I'm telling you is you need to get here honest feedback. Like honest feedback when I mean is, hindi ko magagamit yan kasi medyo malaki to. Hindi ko to magagamit kasi medyo mahal, or hindi ko. So there's some feedback that you can actually gain out of it. So what your goal here is to gain honest feedback, not just the positive ones. So step five, of course, when you actually get the feedback, this really is normal. I know some of you will be stressed that you need to revise your idea, your design, your solution, but it is part of the product development process. I have met someone that developed their product for PWD. It's a glasses, it's a smart glasses. They are already on their 68 iterations. I mean, these are 68 iterations in terms of prototyping. So imagine it only took them 3 years to develop it. So these are really a part of the product development process. You can't really just do it on one try and it's okay, and you will release it on the market, because I'm telling you, manufacturing costs and selling out on the market is much more expensive than testing out your ideas, then changing it on the prototyping level or on the idea level. So I think this is the brief summary of the my presentation. So it's finished. Okay. So I'll hand it to Ma'am Kate, or okay, it's fine, done.
For your insightful topic on product concept development. Please, for the participants, please reserve your questions or type it in the chat box, as we will address all your questions during the open forum, okay? Now, let me introduce to you our second speaker who will discuss about the design tool that will help you designing your product concept. If you know James Franco, kind of look alike. But kidding aside, our applications engineer in CIM Technologies Incorporated, engineer firm Michael Gonzalez. Take it away, Fur.
Hello, good afternoon, guys. So anyway, kidding aside, so let's start with my presentation. So how are you today, guys? I hope you're doing fine during this pandemic season. And there you go. Okay, can you see my slide? Okay, good. So good afternoon once again. Okay. So I'd like to introduce myself again. So I'm Fur Michael Gonzalez. I am an applications engineer here in CIM Technologies under the Technical Solutions Department. So here is my email as shown in the screen. So if you have any questions or any queries regarding the solution that I will be showing you this afternoon, I'm gladly answer your queries. Okay. Now, how does Solid Edge help make your idea to reality? Okay. So an idea will always be just an idea without any execution. It won't simply pop up from your head and then market it, right? So, but with all the existing technologies, it might only add to confusion, difficulty in collaborating with other designers or manufacturers, and other design challenges. Remembering the quote that anything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial, right? So, Solid Edge can be the solution that you are looking for, building the bridge from your idea to a real marketable item. How then does Solid Edge help you make this into reality? Solid Edge is a portfolio of solutions, each corresponding to a necessary design requirement or area that will make your idea come to life. From part modeling, validation, even for manufacturing needs, improving post-sale support through publications, to collaboration and managing data-heavy models. Each solution with its best-in-class features that addresses design challenges that will make the work faster, more efficient, and easier. Okay, any product is composed of different components. Okay, solid models, sheet metals, electrical parts, and complex geometries. Okay, not to mention the necessary mechanisms for the product's function and possibly the product's value proposition considered as well. Okay, so there are a lot of consideration that needs to be evaluated to put our products up to the market, uh, dealing with other competitors as well. So let's discuss each solution or design area under the solution edge. The Solid Edge portfolio, and visualize how Solid Edge fits within your designing needs. So let's start off with the mechanical design. So existing modeling solutions such as history-based modeling and direct modeling have their own respective advantages and disadvantages. These modeling solutions are widely available in the market today, and I believe you might have actually encountered each one of them. Okay, imagine joining the best of both worlds. The synchronous technology, taking each advantage from history-based and direct modeling with added features. Okay, synchronous technology can take your designing process to a whole new level. It should be noted that synchronous technology is not a separate modeling solution, but instead a combination of both worlds and more. Okay. Under the core strengths in mechanical design are the key modules that will further your design capabilities, from creating sheet metal designs to complex geometries using surfacing and designing structural frames are essential tools that will enable you to create each necessary component of your product in aesthetic purpose or functional. If you need to gain more insight, there's generative design to produce organic, lightweight, and complex shapes, improving existing designs also without having to digitally redesign them from scratch is also made easier through reverse engineering. Revisions using solid edge synchronous technology is made faster, thus widening the possibilities of addressing different design challenges throughout your designing process. Now, next would be the electrical design. So electrical design solutions include wiring design for rapid diagram creation and verification of electrical systems. Also, harness design with the rapid and intuitive harness and form board design tools with automated part selection, design validation, and manufacturing report generation. PCB solution provides users with schematic capture and PCB layout design capabilities, including sketch routing, hierarchical 2D, 3D planning, and placement, just to name a few of ECAD modules. One of the key features is also is the ECAD and the MCAD collaboration, which is streamlined through work associativity. Next is simulation. Okay, this is an easy-to-use built-in finite element analysis tool that enables design engineers to digitally validate part and assembly designs within the solid edge environment. Based on proven SimCenter FEMA finite element modeling technology, solid edge simulation significantly reduces the need for physical prototypes, reducing material and testing costs while saving design time. You have the opportunity to test your product for deformation, stress, resonant frequencies, buckling, heat transfer, thermal stress, and vibration response. SimCenter Flow EFD for Solid Edge offers CFD solutions for any flow analysis, electronic cooling, and other applications. Now, next would be manufacturing. Solid Edge CAM Pro features a rich set of tools to help you finish the job right the first time. Solid Edge CAM Pro is a modular, flexible configuration of numerical control programming solutions that allows you to maximize the value of your machine tools. It helps manufacturers define and execute a wide range of manufacturing processes, including milling, turning, and feature-based machining with comprehensive machining simulation. You can stay confident with built-in toolpath visualization and material removal verification tools. Solid Edge also offers solutions for additive manufacturing, which is quite a trend right now. Tools are readily available to help you set your desired model for 3D printing. Now, next would be the technical publications. The ability to clearly communicate the correct manufacturing, installation, and maintenance procedures for designs is essential to the performance of your products and the success of your business. By using Solid Edge technical publication solutions, your designers can quickly create many types of technical documents, including work instructions, maintenance manuals, user guides, and spare parts catalogs. Now, next would be data management. Solid Edge includes easy to use and easy to administer tools for managing fast growing volumes of design data with its built-in data management capabilities, either to check latest revision of parts, replace certain parts to earlier revisions, for example, detect any identical file names or part members so an index or do an index-based search query or update part or subassembly status. These are just some of its functions that will enable you to corroborate and collaborate efficiently part files, assemblies, and even drawings as well. Now, lastly is the Solid Edge portal. Solid Edge portal is a standalone cloud-native collaboration tool. Anyone can use this free tool, okay? This is free, so just go to the web address and sign up. Once there, you can view markup and securely share all common CAD file types. It even supports non-CAD files, such as PDF, Word documents, MP3, and all the necessary files that you need for full project collaboration. Sharing project is made easier, and collaborating with other designers with this free tool can be a success differentiator. Now, here are just some of the products using Solid Edge. Okay, we have Tefal uses Solid Edge to design household consumer electronic products. Okay, so this is a pressure cooker. So it is composed with different components, and also have undergone simulation as well. We also have furniture design, and interior products can be made using Solid Edge as well. And how about yachts? Okay, these can be designed with Solid Edge as well, with all the solutions or designing solutions that the Solid Edge portfolio provides. It will enable you to create dozen of products, okay, widening your perspective regarding approaches to designing process. We barely scratched the surface of what Solid Edge can offer. Okay, this is just to get you going and see the features of each individual solutions or design areas that add up to the best in class, affordable, easy to deploy, maintain, and use software tools that advance all aspects of the product development process, from mechanical, electrical design, simulation, manufacturing, technical documentation, data management, and cloud-based collaboration. all this within your grasp to help you make your design process easier, faster, and more efficient. With the right mindset and right tool, this leads to market success. So be better, design better with Solid Edge. Thank you. So I'll give the floor back to Miss Kate.
All right, thank you for sharing a worthwhile topic, everyone. And thank you also, Engineer Gonzalez, for introducing us to Solid Edge. Now, the chat box is open for your questions. Please feel free to chat in your questions. So I would like to add up and give emphasis on this that CIM Technologies, our company, does just we do not just give out or we do not just cater or offer solutions or softwares, but we also accept product design and development services. Okay, so if you're looking for a team that can do your designs, we can offer you that as well. So please feel free to contact us for any of your requirements or inquiries. Any questions? Right. So while waiting for the participants' questions, I have a question for you here, Cha. I'd like to raise up my own question here. You've mentioned the 5 steps on your the challenges or the steps that for under the product concept development, right? So my question here, Cha, is what are the challenges that we can anticipate during the concept development stage? Hello, Cha. Seems like Cha is having some technical difficulties. So we're just waiting for some questions to pop up on our chat box. Please don't be shy. Huwag kayong mahiya po. For Mr. Cho is a Filipino as well. So he can address your questions. If you have any ideas in mind, if you're going to start up a business or planning to develop your own product, you might have any questions in mind. Okay. Mr. Cho is here as well. All right. So, Cha, I have here my question for you. I'm going just going to repeat it. Okay. What are the challenges that we can anticipate during the concept development stage? As what you've mentioned on the 5 steps that you've presented.
So what is the problem of
What are the challenges that we can anticipate during the concept development stage?
for me? One of the okay, the most of the problem that I can encountered here is it's not visible. For example, you got already the idea and everything, and you thought you refined it very well. And after that, of course, what is the problem is we are on the concept development as a designer. It's a designer's problem, and the one that create the concept. We are really easily be blinded by our own designs and, of course, our own concepts. So there's an ego element here that we need to play off. So when there's an ego, and of course, we are really proud of our idea and design, we tend to listen less on the customers and the users we use here. The problem here is you don't know that this is a problem. I mean, you really don't know. I mean, you will just be you don't know that you are already listening less. You don't know that there are some changes that you need because you thought the design and the concept is really well made. But actually, the problem for that is for us to understand if we really have a good concept and design, we need to listen more. Designing is about listening more rather than just creating and generating. Because without that, of course, we will just go ahead and waste money and everything. So
Right.
that is the number one problem for me,
Okay.
the concept. Because This is actually a normal routine. So my goal here as a
Yeah.
design leader,
Mhm.
I must have a third eye reference that I can be easily be blinded, but of course, we're easily be amazed that this design is good and great. But of course, on reality check, if the customers and the user says if they're not comfortable to use it, listen.
Mhm.
That's all.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Cho. Now we have our question here from one of our participants. It says here that what's the difference between human-centered design versus design thinking?
For what I understand, I'm not sure if the human-centered design is part of design thinking, because design thinking is the whole process of including the prototype, and it will include the testing as well. While the human-centered design is much more of the idea or thought, while the design thinking is much more of the doing part, the doing of the test, and you will check get the customer feedback on the actual use compared to the human centered design as what read before. I might be wrong, so it's more of the thought part, while the design thinking process it includes up till the prototype and later stage. It's more of the doing part, because I've seen what I've seen is design thinking. You can't do design thinking without doing. That's a part of it. That's of it. Okay.
Okay. Right. I hope that Mr. Cho have answered your question. So if you want to have more clarification, please feel free to chat it on the chat box. So while waiting for another question, Cho, I would like to have this one again. So does originality or uniqueness of the product matters in product concept development? So does it really matter, or what's the uh, from
There
1 to 10?
are two sides of coin of this, because one thing is, of course, when the customers or the client have this unique idea, it doesn't mean that your if your idea is unique or it's not searchable on the internet is already usable, is
Mhm.
useful. No, it doesn't mean your idea is unique, or of course distinctive is unique, because that is a problem. We tend to we see something on the internet and we want to create something for ourselves. That's a problem of us as a maker designer. We want to make something different, but uniqueness and a differentiation of products must, of course, must come through you want to solve the problem of the customers or the problem that you're solving for. Because without this, you're just gonna sell a product that's, for example, a phone that has 10 cameras, or a phone that has a touchscreen on the back part. Uh, it causes a problem, because your goal here is not to solve a problem or create a product that can user that can use, but you're much more
Mhm.
worried of being different. Being different can be good, but being different part must come from you want to solve something, and of course you won't hit someone patent, because the problem here is when they already patented it, I think it's up to 20 to 25 years they will own the patent. Uh, of course, you can't sell it as your own. You need to pay them. So yes, being
Okay.
distinct distinct and unique is helpful, but if that's your focus, it's not helpful at all. That's my point.
All right. Thanks, Scott.
Okay, is
Well,
there any questions?
any more questions? Okay, so I think there are no more questions. Once again, thank you to our speakers, Engineer Gonzalez and Cha, for that very insightful presentations. And thank you as well to our participants who raised their questions. Now, before we end our session, we would like to know your thoughts, as well as to know how can we be of service to you. I'll be sharing with you our survey on screen, okay? Please answer these questions for us to know your feedback. We will be issuing a digital certificate to those who will participate in this survey. There are only 8 questions, so this will take up 5 minutes of your time. So, what products are you currently using? Are you using any CAD, CAM for CAE or PDM? What are the most critical elements for your CAD design challenges that needs improvement? Do you want to make an investment in Solid Edge? Yes or no? Would you like to enroll for an online course about Solid Edge? How satisfied were you with the webinar? How do you rate the main speaker? How do you rate the second speaker? How satisfied were you with the session content? I'm not sure why there's no question here. How beautiful is the host for this afternoon's webinar? Kidding. Now we're just that's all for our survey questions. I think all right, we're done. Thank you for participating in our survey. Now for our next slide. Also on the screen are the upcoming webinar episodes of this series. You may register already for the second episode of the series, which is Developing Your 3D Commercial Product Design on October 9 at 2 p.m. You can see the red button where you can register now for this episode 2. That's on October 9 at 2 p.m. Then for the last episode, which is prototyping, iterations, and getting the right feedback and developing a product on November 6th at 2 p.m. Please invite your colleagues or friends who wants to learn product development. Now, for those of you who are already developing products and wants to learn more on how you can improve more on product design, we are inviting you to join our upcoming virtual launch in Solid 2021 this September 24 at 9:30 a.m. As you see on your screen, that's our save date. Our guest speaker will be the founder and head engineer of Rurok Industries. Learn from their product development experiences. Most importantly, discover how can you accelerate your business with better design in Solid 2021. You may register through the link above, which will be flashed there. Accelerate your business with design better in Solid with the red button. This is for free, by the way. And you may also join for our design competition, wherein the mechanics and criteria to join will be announced during the launch. So start your morning on September 24 with lots of learnings and fun, as you can also get a chance to win raffle prizes. So better register now to secure your slots. And we are hoping to see you all online during the launch. Once again, thank you for joining this session. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Bye. Keep safe.